post-election, my stay would be in Vizag. In fact, my swearing-in ceremony also would be in Vizag. This is my commitment to Vizag. And now, what is the vision for Vizag? See, we need to have a 10-year vision. We would have to own this city, christen the city as executive capital, become part of the city, and have a 10-year vision. You know, we need to have a roadmap which is workable, which is doable. It cannot be a roadmap where we just dream big but yet achieve nothing, because it is impractical. Not so. We need to have a practical solution. We need to have a practical approach, and we need to have a vision which is realizable in 10 years' time. Of course, this vision is one vision which cannot be alone done by the state government. It would have to be the state government, it would have to be the central government, it would have to be a PPP model, it would have to be encouraging private people also to become part of the vision. All these people become part of this vision, only then we can realize Vizag is the next competitor in a decade's time to Hyderabad, Bangalore or Chennai. In fact, why I was opposed to the idea there. And according to them, just to provide for the basic infrastructure, that is these roads, the water, electricity, and these kind of basic infrastructure alone, according to their own calculations, with the DPR that they have produced, costs almost 2 crores per acre, which is on a 50,000 acres of barren land. If one were to just lay these basic infrastructure requirements put in place, we're talking about 1 lakh investments, 1 lakh crores of money, which would have to be put in before any buildings could come up, or before we could talk about anything else other than the basic roads or the basic electricity or the basic water or the basic stuff. Now, per se, does anybody have 1 lakh crores to be pumped in? And if this 1 lakh crores were to be pumped in today, it's going to cost 1 lakh crores. But if this 1 lakh crores would be pumped in maybe in 20 years' time, presuming 5,000 crores of outlay every year, approximately, what one could actually probably afford. So there's nothing there. Then you're talking about 20 years. Then in 20 years' time, 1 lakh crore probably would become 7-8 lakhs or 10 lakh crores. The expenditure what you thought about as 1 lakh crores today, in 20 years would actually be 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. Probably the net present value calculations of probably 1 lakh crores 20 years down the line would probably be one were to calculate 1 lakh crores today, 20 years down, it would be 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakh crores. And which is going to be a dream chasing. You would never be anywhere. That is the reason why I say I'm nothing against it. It's only something that we can't do it. Whereas here in Vizag, we have a place which already has this basic infrastructure put in place. We already have roads. We already have good roads. We already have electricity, good electricity. We have good water connections. We have good everything. Basic infrastructure is already put in place. So all what we need to do is, given that finishing touches, just give it a little bit of finishing touches, and it would transform into something much, much, much bigger. And what are those finishing touches that we need to give? An iconic secretariat. The moment we shift here and christen it as executive capital, you obviously would have the entire employees also come and station here, for which a secretariat building. Why construct an ordinary secretariat building? Construct something iconic, which would stand out, which would attract the entire country to see. An iconic secretariat, an iconic convention center. People talk about one of Geo Convention Center. The latest, the biggest, the best. These are the names that they give. If we have something like that, not much of a cost. Why can't we have one here so that the entire world, entire country looks up? Iconic stadium. There's one in Ahmedabad. Investment is probably 800 crores, 1,000 crores. Not much of an investment. But the entire country talks about it. Entire country talks about that stadium. And whensoever a match is played between the countries, that stadium is glorified. It is spoken about by the entire country. Entire world sees that stadium. All these that I speak about are iconic. All these, if they were to be commissioned, would actually pitch Vizag on the global scale, would draw eyeballs not only of the country but the whole world to actually look at Vizag. What we have envisioned for Vizag: iconic secretariat, iconic convention center, iconic stadium, Institute of Emerging Technologies. One beautiful institute wherein the talent for any emerging technologies is tutored here. If our students could be given that kind of skills, tutored here, this would be positioned as something else. We have the Bhogapuram International Airport coming up. At a very brisk pace, the work is happening. And within the next 15 months or 18 months, this project would actually see the light of the day. It's moving at a very brisk pace. Then connectivity to the Bhogapuram International Airport. A 6-lane beach corridor road with beautiful green lawns on either side of the roads. 6-lane road to Bhogapuram International Airport. They're talking about a metro rail. Our Vizag is probably the only metro, I guess, which does not have a metro rail. So getting funds for metro rail per se, I don't think it's that difficult. Because it might cost another 14,000 crores, but 60% of the funding comes in PPP model by the developer. Another 40% is to be shared by central and the state government. Central shares 20%, state shares 20% of the 14,000 crore investment. Of course, we are pushing for the entire 40% to be borne by the central government. That's a different story. But even if that doesn't happen, we're still talking about 20% contribution from the state government. And then you could actually see a 14,000 crore metro rail project also take off. Then we're building a Molapet port in Srikakulam. Within the next 1 year, the Molapet port would actually start functioning. And we have Vizag, Bhogapuram International Airport, which is 30 kilometers from the airport. And then from there, the Molapet port is just another 110 kilometers or so. So you have entire corridor from Vizag International Airport and then Molapet port. A horizontal growth corridor which could take off, which already has an existing national highway, I think 6-lane or 8-lane highway. It's already, the works are at a brisk pace. Then you have a data center with a submarine cable which is coming from Singapore. A data center, Adani is doing it. A huge investment, 27,000 crores of investment is coming there. And since it's a private investment, and Adani is doing it, the works of the land from our side, everything that needs to be done is already done. They've already started the work, the plans are submitted. And within the next 5-6 years, in a staggered way, in a phased manner, they would actually ensure that this project also comes up. Then you have hospitality industry, which also needs to be looked into, which also needs to be given a little bit of boost, for which we have ensured that Oberoi and Mayfair groups are given certain bits of land for them to develop 5-star plus resorts here as well in Vizag, where Vizag is short and it doesn't have resorts. It has some good hotels, but it doesn't have resorts. So this 5-star plus category resorts by Oberoi or Mayfair would actually bridge in that gap. The land has already been given to these private people and they're already on the verge of starting the construction, and within the next 2 years or so you would actually start them, you would actually see them commissioned. Then NTPC Green Hydrogen Project. This is also around about 30,000 crore investment of NTPC. This project, fortunately yesterday Prime Minister virtually laid the foundation stone. So this is also going to be a reality. So all these that I just spoke about, they are not things that cannot be achieved. All these things can be realizable. Within the next 10 years, in a staggered manner, we would see all these things coming up. Because all these things that I spoke about are not big. Something which is unimaginable. No, not so. All these things are realizable because they're not something, they do not post those numbers which would actually say they are not realizable. And there is of course one aspiration what I'm trying to negotiate with the Prime Minister also. This thing goes well, we would have this as well. A high-speed rail corridor from Hyderabad to Vizag, passing through Vijayawada. And then Vijayawada to Bangalore, passing through Kurnool and Kadapa. But this is an aspiration. If it happens, it happens. Even if it doesn't happen, 10 years is a big enough span for us to pursue that it happens. Even though this is an aspiration currently with us, the rest of the stuff that I spoke about are all realizable. So with all these things coming up in Vizag, and the Chief Minister coming and stationed in Vizag, it would attract a lot of people to come and settle down in Vizag as well. And Vizag, in 10 years' time, with all these iconic buildings taking shape, would actually compete with the best in the world, with the best in India, definitely for sure. In fact, my people have gone ahead and given a presentation to this effect. We can all watch, myself included. I'll also be sitting with you on the other side. Let's share the officials also for actually putting in this kind of energy and effort, because it takes a lot of passion to actually be involved. What needs to be done for Vizag? How do we do it? And it takes a lot of passion. And, in fact, when I was asked to come here, I said, fine. Because looking at their passion, I wanted to encourage them as well. And I also wanted to give a kind of confidence to the people of Vizag in particular, that yes, Vizag, in spite of all the difficulties and hurdles that were posed, we will prevail, we will survive, and we will bounce back, is what the final message would be. Thank you all for this patient hearing. I hope that we all share this dream and it will be realized at the earliest. Because I can't repeat the whole thing in Telugu. I tried, but then I thought again I'll deviate. Maybe some other occasion in Telugu. Maybe some other occasion in Telugu I would do so.